Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be asking our good friends Rachel and Blur here about what life is like dating in the 2024 era. They are not dating each other, as I'm sure they will tell you. Oh, so right off the bat, let's answer this question. Someone says, Blur, dating, I call cap. You have created such a bad public image for yourself.
Why?
I don't know.
Ew.
People have this image of you as like some dude who's never dated in his life. So the reason we're doing this today and not tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Saturday is because he has a different date on every one of those days. Rachel has confirmed this.
I can confirm this man does fuck. When I'm eating dinner on the second floor of our shared condo, I can hear him fucking on the first floor while I'm eating my food. It's awful.
So they have another roommate named Ashkan, and
Yeah.
he had like his parents come by.
Yeah, his mom came over. Beforehand, Ashkan kindly asked Arian to please not have a girl over while his mom was over. Arian tried to move his date to be later, but then Ashkan's mom also came over later. So they arrived around a similar time, and like while they were upstairs eating at the dinner table, they could just hear the moans drifting up from the stairs.
I did my part. I
What
moved
was
it
your
later.
part?
I moved it later.
Loud as fuck, dude.
Don't you have a shame?
I moved it later. I don't experience
You don't have the
shame.
shame
It's just
part of your-
it's part of me.
That explains so much.
Have some empathy.
That actually explains.
Have some empathy.
You're a real discriminated class. H-Rock, who's the guy on the left with the... Oh, it's me. Hi. Will being good at Melee get me girls?
Historically, yes, if it's me.
Yes, guys. You guys should go to your local tournament.
And she's representative of all the female population.
Yeah. If you think about it, you didn't get married until you started playing Melee.
That's an insane stretch.
We have a 3 out of 3 here. That's 100%.
I mentioned it on my dating profile. I say, yeah, it says like, I will destroy you in Super Smash Bros. Melee.
And would you get like...
Oh, that's the only, that's
main-
the opener that everyone's like, oh my god, you play Smash? Usually they talk about Ultimate though, and then I'm like, you're cringe.
Yeah, that's the filter.
So,
what's
yeah.
so what's the meta on photos for apps? What have you learned on like what you have to include?
Like, I don't have a strat really. I think I have one group photo, one like photo that shows off my ass. From
So prove you're not a
tournaments.
psychopath, prove you have an ass. and
Yeah,
that's-
pretty much.
Clear shots of your face, clear shots of your body, and the rest should be like shots of lifestyle. Main thing you want is like, who is this guy? Thankfully, I live a very unique life.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. I do live a unique life, Brandon.
I 100% agree with you.
And so I get a lot of like.
I think that's why people are tough to give Blur credit, is because he, even when he's right, has such arrogance.
I like the really funny photos of like when people are just like, or like the videos where people are doing shit with their friends. I think that's like intriguing to me.
I do think like if you're going for a particular thing, like it depends on what your goals are. A family pic is good.
Yeah,
So like if you're trying to be wholesome,
Sending that vibe.
or you partying is good if you're looking for something else.
I think a picture of me golfing and cussing myself out after missing a 3-foot putt would perform well if I went on a dating app.
That would hit with me.
That seems like funny. It
Yeah,
seems like
that would be funny.
kind of a Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore type vibe.
Dude, you're on Adam Sandler way too much after that movie.
She really does watch. She watches every stream.
That's
Our household is unironically, we sit around and eat dinner while watching
that's tight.
Atriarch.
That's-
It's weird though because I've known you for like 10 years, so it's
Yeah.
like.
Just a little,
But now you're the guy I watch the most. So it's like, oh.
Yeah, I have known Blur a very long time. I've told this story before, but I will just do a quick intro. You showed up as someone I didn't know, applying for a job at Twitch, where you would be the head of the Smash Bros department of Twitch, which we didn't even really need. We didn't need a Smash Bros. We didn't have a League of Legends department. We didn't need a fucking Smash Bros department. And there was a bunch of people applying. I'm not even going to get into it, but one of them was handpicked and definitely going to get the job. You come in, underdog, almost there to just fill one of the interview slots. All smiles, very charming. You know some details about everyone on the interview panel. Like, you know shit about my past. I never met you. You're like, oh, Team Liquid. I never. Wow, okay. I'm charmed. I'm smitten. It's one of the best interviews I've been through. It really crushed it. So by the end, we're in the meeting where we have this panel where we're discussing who we're going to hire. And we have the person that's handpicked. And like that person's basically been told that you're a shoo-in. But we're all in the meeting. We're like, but Blur. Blur was a tour de force. He's a 5-star man. And so we think about it, talk about it. And finally they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to hire 2 people for Smash Bros. Again, What the fuck do we need 2 people at Twitch? Twitch is like at that point like a 200-person company. We have 0 people for League of Legends, 0 people for Counter-Strike. We need 2 people for Smash Melee. I don't think Smash 4 is even out yet. I mean, it's crazy. It's so small. So Blur gets hired. Literally day 1, he comes in and he's an entirely different person. He's a supervillain. He comes in and drops the smile like the end of a movie, eating chips on the couch, fucking falling asleep, talking mad shit. I mean, he completely fooled us. Then we became friends after that, but like he bait and switched me for sure. I was like, what the fuck?
It was a one-time thing. In a dating context, I don't do the same thing, by the way. If I'm not a sociopath, right? I just do things and use people to get what I want. That's not me.
True.
Yeah.
She's scared.
He's my landlord, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay that.
Are you 2 dating people on apps for long-term relationships or just going in for the sex?
I would say that I started out looking for just something casual, and now I feel like the casual lifestyle isn't for me.
Was it bad experiences?
Yeah,
or was
bad
it...
experiences, basically.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just tired of getting fucking ghosted. Like, I went on a date, like 2 dates with this one guy in the span of a week. It seemed to be going really great. He was like very communicative, walked around, we got food. He was like, get home safe. The next day I said, hey, I had a lot of fun. Do you want to like watch Dune 2 this week or something like that? And then he never fucking messaged me back.
He just hates Dune that much.
Yeah. Maybe he just really didn't want to see Timothy Chalamet. Didn't respond for 3 days, so I sent a follow-up and I was like, hey, like, it's totally chill if you don't want to like continue dating, but I would have really appreciated you communicating that.
And still nothing.
And still nothing.
That fucking sucks. So here's a question. He comes back in 2 days. He says, my phone was broken. My brother stole it. It fell in the ocean.
Cartel kidnapped me.
The cartel.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite one, you know?
That's
I fell asleep. Yeah, that's what I expect.
I fell asleep. Are you so pissed that it's over, or is it like you want more chance?
Oh, fuck no. I stand on business. If people don't message me back in like 3 days, 4 days, and they're not communicating that shit, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I have other shit to do.
What about you, Blur?
I've never ghosted anyone. I've also been ghosted and flaked on. The worst one I've ever had was girl wanted to go to a hookah place, and I was like, oh, I'm Middle Eastern. I'll show you the best spot.
Sure.
And so
Do you think you have any special knowledge of hookah?
No, I know absolutely not. But I think
Ever smoked hookah?
Oh, I never really smoked hookah. But, you know, you got to work with what you got. So I drive out there. I show up to this hookah place.
Yeah.
And she never shows up. She blocks me. So I know this because she blocks my number and just never shows up.
She made the date.
She made the date.
Show up, then blocked you.
And 10 minutes before, she said, on my way. Literally 10 minutes before, while I'm driving, she's like, yeah, I'll be there soon.
I thought ghosting was like you go on a date, you come back, and then they just don't respond. Like they didn't have a good vibe or whatever, and then they just...
Sometimes they just never show up. That happens
Not
all
showing
the
up is
time.
crazy.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to me. Walked home for 3 hours listening to the Donnie Darko sound.
A lot of this sort of stuff ends up affecting you in a subconscious way more than you think. It ends up making it so that you have a little bit less investment in the next people, no matter if you want to or not. And I think, unfortunately, these things have the most success. Like when you go in there with an appropriate amount of naivety and like enthusiasm, the long-term relationships I've had in my life are the ones I went into where I like kind of really went into it very, very early.
Right.
And so sometimes I feel like because I've been in that zone, it's making it harder for me to develop that level of like intensity.
So you got 6 dates coming up in this next week, which is absurd, which is like ludicrous.
We've both done this, by the way. One time I had 7 in a row.
You've done 7 dates in a row?
Yeah.
What can you possibly get out of 7 days? Like, it's only sex, right? What is your...
No, I didn't have sex on any of those days.
But like,
I actually have a lot of fun at them. You know, like I don't really go in there being like, this is necessarily going to be a romantic thing. If your whole shtick is a masculine guy, directing it is part of your job, kind of. And so I'm directing it in a romantic way.
When you're directing the date,
making sure it's going in a romantic direction.
like do you yell cut?
So it's no, I'm not.
I do think that like there have been people that I was interested in, but I got more of a friend vibe from them because like they weren't like, I don't know, they didn't do like the shoulder touch. I don't know. There's like no like that one guy that I brought to the party for the Super Bowl. He's like a cool guy, like would totally be his friend, but like I just like don't.
I had no idea you guys were dating.
Yeah, like we had like on
He gave
yeah,
off no
exactly,
dating
like
energy.
exactly.
Wow, I literally thought he was like your upstairs roommate.
Yeah, and I don't think you need to be like overt about it. I think that's also another problem.
Yeah, what is overt in this context? Can you give examples of like things you've been hit with?
He started off by like, hey, I really want to watch this movie. I was like, sure, we can watch this movie. He didn't like say like, we're gonna like fuck, or like, I didn't get those vibes at all. There was
Sure.
like no flirting ahead of time.
He said, I really want to watch this movie.
Yeah, he's like, I love this movie. It was It Follows, by the way. Maybe not the most romantic movie either, by the way. And I get there, we watch the movie, we sit through all of it.
You watched the whole, that's a long fucking movie.
Yeah, we watched the
like a
entire movie.
3-hour movie,
There's
by the way.
no like weird things happening in like
Sure.
He doesn't like touch me. Like we're sitting like apart
It's
on
the
the couch.
STD horror
like-
movie.
Yeah, it is an STD horror movie.
And you guys don't really talk, and this is the
I was
first date,
thinking of
right?
it.
Like,
Oh, we're chatting about like, this part of the movie, blah 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 blah, cinematography, blah blah blah, whatever.
You talk about,
but you
talk about
learned-
movie stuff.
yeah,
but you learned
movie shit.
you learned nothing about him as a human being.
No, I'm like,
Okay.
okay, movie's over. Like, I should probably like go home or whatever. And he just like fucking just swings his face at me, and he's just randomly, we're just like making out all of a sudden, and I'm like, well, I feel like this is more of a jump scare than anything in the movie. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? And then I had to like awkwardly navigate like getting out of his apartment without like pissing him off, because I don't want
You
to
don't
like
know him at all.
want to
Yeah.
die.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think like a lot of this stuff you learn with time and age and experience. It's to learn how to ramp it up and how to get, like vibe check all the time. You have to constantly be vibe checking, right? I hope to at least first, maybe second date, try to get like a kiss or something, right?
Right.
To get there, you have to like slowly get there. You can't just jump scare it.
No, please don't jump scare.
You have. Once you're
And
there,
how are you
you're-
vibe checking? Are you just saying, vibe check?
No, it's exactly so. It's like whatever it is, talk about the emotional aspect of it. Talk about how it makes you feel, because a lot of people don't get time to talk about how they feel.
I'm gonna say this. I think that's good advice for conversations in general. I think sometimes people get too point A to point B logistical in talking, and that bores the shit out of me.
Right.
I think my female Riz is different, as Arian will attest to. Like, when I really like a guy, I will be the one to like assert paying for things. That's like my
That's
move.
your Riz?
I honestly don't feel comfortable when guys pay for things, because then there's now an implication that I
Yeah,
have to
some kind
give
of
them
weird
something
expectation.
in return.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to exist.
Yeah, don't expect anything in return.
The one time a girl offered to pay, she later messaged me that I was supposed to decline, and that she didn't want to see me anymore.
That's weird.
This actually happened to me before I was dating Ari. I was on a date. I offered to pay, and then she reached out to be like, "Oh no, let's split it." And then I said okay, and then her face went crestfallen, and then she like looked around in her bag and she's like, "I don't have a card." I guess she thought I would just deny.
I used to be engaged, and when I went on my first date with my ex-fiance, he showed up and told me he didn't have a credit card to pay with.
On your first date?
So that I had to.
That's amazing, Riz.
And still got
Holy fucking
engaged.
shit.
So
And he got engaged.
Yeah.
I don't find it to be a big deal. I like paying, honestly. I like it when they just let me and it's cool. I don't do it forever because I want an even relationship. But at the beginning, it's like, bro, it's not that much.
I also think you don't have to do like dinner dates every time. I don't know. I'm a huge advocate of like, I like to do dates of things that I would already do. So like I go to the gym, or like I go to like an
Gym
arcade.
first date seems kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Has that worked? Has that
yeah,
either
the
feels-
Magic the Gathering guy and I like went
You
to the
did it-
gym. Yeah, and it was really fun.
Can I ask you a question? Guy on a gym date, is he struggling to lift the best?
He's
Because I
easy,
finally
brother.
joined you guys in your group
Yeah.
for your gym, and Blair was lifting more than he could fucking lift, and he was doing bad form. making
Bro,
a
my
whole
shoulder
thing,
was
trying to
messed up that
impress me. You were
day.
trying to impress me, bro. And I was like, bro,
Oh, hey.
Eddie.
Why didn't you do the physical touch? Help me out. You know?
Oh, I wasn't attracted because you kept failing the.
What?
Super curious question. How do you feel about dates with people that you match with online versus the feeling of talking to someone you first met at a bar out and about? I feel like I personally felt stronger feelings for people I've met by chance rather than some girlfriends that I've matched with. This is the data on how couples meet in the US.
Holy fuck.
You'll notice that basically every other type of meeting through friends, work, bar, grade school, neighbors, college is grinding down to zero, is approaching zero.
No matter what you do, unfortunately, you can't completely X out the apps from your life, not because you can't delete the apps, but because you can't delete the social impact of the apps, right? Number one, how much people approach. She was saying people don't approach almost at all anymore, which I found also true in real life.
Interesting, yeah.
So we were out at like a club. We've gone to so many bars and stuff together, and we always look around and be like, I haven't seen a single dude approach a girl this entire time. I remember clubbing back in the day, and the whole point, people went out there with a mission.
Yeah, people
People aren't going out there with a mission.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm here hearing don't want to bother people. I'm hearing makes me feel like an asshole to bother people in public.
Yeah.
I think it's from like we had a pandemic where people weren't social for like 2
I don't want to make
years.
someone comfortable. I'm scared too. I hate that it's it's all that.
I think people are afraid to approach, but I think they've always been afraid to approach. But also, I think that people who aren't afraid to approach are people who have a lot of self-confidence. Maybe they already do well in apps as it is, and they're not approaching either because they're like, why would I? I'm good. Like, I don't need to.
What a fundamental shift in how humans do.
Yeah. Like, I don't really go out there and like really am trying to grind and find people like that.
I don't know. There's the Chipotle girl, and then there's the girl who was like, he just like was trying to run game on the Chipotle girl, and there was this girl outside who was trying to get us to sign like waivers to stop homelessness, and I was like, I gotta go.
You were running game on the homeless waiver woman?
Yeah.
She was giving caring signals. She cared about the homeless. I thought that was a good sign. I was like,
got
I would love to be with
caring
someone who volunteers their time to help the homeless.
Right, but it just feels like you didn't care about the homeless at all. You just cared about yourself.
Even still, I think there's been times where I think I would have been more proactive. Like there's a girl recently I met at a party. We hooked up, and I didn't really follow up with in the way I used to do. Part of it's because I got distracted by a lot of the other
apps,
the other options I
had. 6 other dates coming up.
Back in the day, I simply couldn't go on 6 dates.
Yeah, there's no way you could.
It's just not fun. If I just went to bars, like it's impossible.
Yeah.
Right. To get that to happen, like no matter how good you are. But now it's really easy.
That's what shocks me about it.
It's really
in my
easy.
mind, like to set up 6 dates in a week, you have to do like Ryan Gosling, Crazy Stupid Love. You have to be out there in the bars.
No. It's so.
But now
easy.
it's like
I mean, and you can confirm this. Maybe 30 minutes of swiping.
Yeah.
And like it's very quick. But I also have a very skewed data set for myself because I lost a lot of weight, and I'm not saying I'm incredible right now or whatever, but just generally, I've felt the difference, and the difference is insane. And so a lot of my perspective comes from that and the time factor, which both things have changed at the same time.
I want to get examples of Riz that both of you have received.
Learning the other side helps a lot because number one, it helps your confidence because you're like, oh, my competition. Like they're so bad.
I think people would like to hear this. Actually, from Rachel. I think Rachel should take the floor here. I want to hear about like, first of all, what their competition is like. What are people doing on these apps that's like good or bad? And then like, what is an example of like good Riz that you've received? What's something that's like?
I think this is a little bit difficult because in a lot of these situations, I'm also approaching.
You'll message first.
Yeah, all the time.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's uncommon though, right?
That's pretty uncommon. What Arian says is true. He has like this theory that you kind of have to stand out among other people. And so I think that's why people will, especially guys, will message like insanely sexual or like crazy shit. Yeah. And I straight up won't respond to that unless I'm really down bad. Right? I think I just pivot directly into like nerd culture-ish stuff. So I'll talk about like Melee or Magic or like Hearthstone or something like that. But I don't think I'm like the archetypical girl in that regard. So like that's kind of a difficult question for me to answer. Like, what is Guy Riz? Guy Riz to me is like when I'm bantering and they banter back and it's not cringe.
Oh no, the solution is don't be cringe.
Yeah.
One of my rules is the best time to respond is immediately. Some people are really weird about it. They're like, you have to match their response rate or stuff like that. It's like, I don't got time for that. I just respond as fast as possible because what I want is there to be a quick back and forth. Because when there's a quick back and forth, usually after like 5 minutes of that, I can ask them for number, date, and we're good. Like,
I think that is really important. When people drag out the talking stage in dating apps, I hate it. Like, there are some guys who message me for like 2 weeks. Paragraphs. Paragraphs. We're writing essays to each other. And it's like, dude, I think the problem is that I will respond to every single point that someone else is making. This is partially my bad. And I've tried to stop doing this, but when you run into someone who does the same thing, all of a sudden you guys are writing walls back and forth at each other. Oh, one thing I do, this is actually Guy Riz. Magic the Gathering guy did this. We send a lot of voice notes back and forth.
Voice notes is
Ooh,
that was my.
That seems like good Riz.
Guys, trust me. Voice notes. That's the new meta.
Yeah.
Voice notes is big.
Also, you can
that sounds great.
ramble and like it's fine.
Voice notes are great
Because I feel like I can get across the enthusiasm that I'm trying.
Yes. About
Children
anything.
yearn for a telephone. We're gonna go full circle, dude.
I might be in the minority here, but I like Tinder the best. Maybe they're a little bit creepier on average.
On average, more
Yeah,
creeps.
the more successful dates that I've had have been from Tinder. I don't think I've gone on a single successful date on Hinge.
So what happens on Hinge? Just messaging back and forth? And
Yeah, it just becomes messaging back and forth.
Interesting.
And then they invite me over to their house and we watch It Follows. And
that was the Hinge date?
Tinder and Hinge I pay for because I think you kind of have to.
So explain that. People are going to be furious about that.
You have to. The free version, you just don't appear in people's searches.
Oh, really? It's like
Pretty much.
It's like
So that sucks. So I like the feature where you can see who liked you, and I just look through the list of people who already liked me.
Looking for qualified
and I
leads
just
here. Okay.
yeah, I just quickly get matches.
yeah, this is a CRM.
this is CRS.
CRM, I quickly get matches.
Your goal for a guy, at least from my experience, is like have a little bit of banter, like suss out that the other
Do some
person
bants.
is like normal and cool to you.
Yeah.
Move off the app and then set up a date like as quickly as you can.
90% of my dates, I set up same day.
Yeah.
As you match them.
Yeah.
So you,
I think the barrier to entry to like meet the person just needs to be really low. And the paragraphs make it like I have to do homework in order to meet you. And I don't want to.
Yeah, it has to be fun. It has to be fun and easy.
yeah, keep it. How long do you take to decide which way to swipe on a profile? How long are you thinking?
No, I'm pretty quick, and then I unmatch with people if I'm like, ooh.
Wow, that's crazy.
What do you mean? You
People
do a
like-
second phase.
I'm like, oh, yeah. Because it's faster that way.
I guess this is a good time to get into like my preferences so that I can
ooh,
clear
everyone
up.
get your pitchforks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fucked
Problematic.
up. I told a story about our conversation in the car, and I said she's like 5'10". You're 5'10", right?
I'm 5'10".
So she wanted a guy that's taller than her, and I said she gets a lot of hate from that. Like people get triggered by it and get really mad at her. And instead of like learning from my message, you proved her point exactly. And then we had like a highly upvoted subreddit like Rachel's problematic. She hasn't even been on the stream yet.
I guess they thought that she goes and tells people, hey,
doesn't like-
I hate your short ass. She's not doing that.
She's not swiping right on a short guy and be like, hey, bitch. Like,
Yeah, I want to clarify that like so on Tinder specifically, I can like see the centimeters or whatever. Mine's in centimeters. I look at that, and if it's like under a threshold that like I don't think is gonna work for me, I just swipe left. By the way, I'm bisexual, and I also would only date women taller than me. So, fuck you.
the short queen's now really pissed off. Now you really fucking.
Now you got them both.
Now the
you
Reddit's
found a
gonna be
way.
furious. You mess with the short queens.
I just go through all their photos, and then I check their height. And if it's like on the cusp or the fence, then I'll check their profile.
I feel like all my female friends talk about disliking when men try to talk to them in bars, social situations.
Okay, so my strat with bars and in person has changed, and it's been working really well. I don't do what I used to do. So before, I used to be insanely direct. So the way I do it now is they don't even know I'm hitting on them.
That's actually true. The girl at Chipotle had no idea.
And I'm just out there being like, oh, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, literally just, it seems friendly, but and it is.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm doing things that are going emotional. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Basically the ways that ramp them up, but, like, they don't even know I'm really hitting on them. And then, like, I go somewhere else.
Nice to meet you. I'm just vibing. By the way, is your dad dead, or do you have any personal trauma?
Oh, my God, I've done that once. I've done dad
Yeah.
before. You remember that?
Actually,
Oh,
goodness.
that's
So
crazy. That's a good story.
I do think it is off-putting if I know a guy is only talking to me to like get my number or something like that. If like he's engaging with me in such a way that I feel like he's talking to me like I am a human, then I prefer that.
Given the two options,
For a lot of people, whoever they're dating, they're competing with having the opportunity to be with like 7 girls at one time.
infinite
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that is like a ridiculous bar that people didn't have to clear before. And
well,
so,
also because, you know, a real person that you've been dating for a while has flaws no matter what they are.
Yeah.
But like the potential people that you could be, they're all perfect.
Grass is always greener.
Like they're all awesome.
yeah,
They're, you know,
exactly.
a lot of what we're saying is biased towards certain percentiles, right? Like of attractiveness and stuff. It was such a different experience. It's the difference between hard mode and easy mode, is the way I'd put it.
People beat Dark Souls all the time.
And you can beat hard mode. I got extremely attractive girlfriend. At least I found her extremely attractive when I was pretty big, right? And so it's possible.
Is this the...
Yeah.
I liked her. I hate to bring it up.
I did too.
I like it a lot.
But anyway.
No, I don't want to.
Don't do that, dude.
But Blair's talked about this woman, and she's like the one that got away.
All right,
It's
bro.
like, so it was such a beautiful, heartwarming story. It made me really respect Blair.
I met her in that part of my life, and I think that later, with more optionality, it's actually made it kind of harder because of the what we talked about before.
Brendan's profile, mustached up. Instead of grabbing drinks, let's go on a hike, movie night at home, grab drinks anyways. Okay.
I like that's funny.
Okay, guess where this photo was taken?
It's going so fast. I can't.
Quit complaining, all right? You guys
I like
are a bunch
this
of...
photo.
His third
Shows your drip, and also it's a full body pic. And
Dude, his
also
third picture's in his freaking bathroom. Dude, there's a guy pissing in the background.
There's a guy pissing in the background.
Is this
I
serious?
do like that one.
That guy is not consenting to that. That's not okay, bro.
I think that's funny, but I think most women would not like this.
No.
Okay, yeah, I guess, are you looking to attract as many women as possible? If so, remove
absolutely.
this.
Remove the whole
if
thing,
you're
yeah.
looking for your wife, keep this.
This breaks like every rule, but it does
Wait, can you go back to the
it in a way that's kind of cute. So
No, can you go
I
all
feel
the
like
way up?
one of these photos... Wait, sorry, it's 6 foot. It's fine. It's 6 foot.
No,
okay,
no,
calm down.
stop.
Calm down.
All the way up. Oh, fuck you.
I think his first picture is great. Wait, what's the... What's
he
the
has kind eyes in that.
I
He's
would
got kind eyes.
I would replace this one with the kite one. I think the kite one's your best picture.
But you're also way hotter than you're making yourself look. So you should try that too.
Your last photo should be higher up too, because that's a
This
good
one?
photo. Yeah, that's a good photo.
Like
Really?
I like that photo.
I
feel like I hate this photo if I was a
This
woman.
guy is 6.
I like this guy in the first photo.
I just
I think this guy I would think is annoying at a party.
That could be a thing, yeah.
Pros. I'll listen to you when you complain. I'll get sushi with you even though I hate sushi. I like pretty much all music. Cons, I work too hard and I care too much. I went to the Taylor Swift movie and I was the only guy there. Him with a kid? Oh, giving off.
He's giving fam
giving
vibes.
family vibes. Kind of crazy at 22. Okay.
Ooh, that pic.
I like the toothpick.
This is a good pic.
I like the toothpick. Spotify anthem, Jack Harlow, combo meal. Okay. This is him with a bunch of tickets. I
That's
get
actually
it.
cute. What is that?
This one's you really sick, I guess.
Giving blood or something?
Oh, giving blood, maybe. Initial
I
reactions.
think the ticket picture should be higher. I think the ticket picture is the best picture and it's the most intriguing. It's also mysterious, so people will swipe more. I think that the hospital one
that's
might
gotta
be a
go.
throw.
You gotta go.
It does give off crazy vibes.
It gives off, I don't know what the fuck
Like,
this
you
guy's
can't-
on about.
I understand what you're trying to do here. Don't do it.
I like
That's
this.
a good pic. That's a good pic, bro.
But Rachel doesn't seem to like it. She doesn't like it.
I think that
He doesn't
he's
like
a little
it.
scruffy.
And then he's got
I think
like
that's a good photo for what it's worth. I don't like the facial hair, but that's like a personal choice. I think that this one is also fine, but also it depends what the fuck you're looking for.
if you're looking for a wifey, this is great.
yeah, if
you're not-
if you're looking to like smash girls as much as Arian is, don't put
Well, tag. All right.
actually
so-
the 22-year-old demographic might be something.
What up,
that,
Big L?
Like,
Streaming. I'm live. Yeah, I'm coming to the game. That's till 7, right? 4:44. It's 6:40? Are you smoking dick? Wait, my computer says 4:44.
that's 6:40.
Oh, fuck. I don't know my computer. I've been sitting here fucking eyeballing the time. I'm like, I got 2 hours, bro. Ah, shit. That means you guys have to come back. You guys have to come back. We'll do a Tinder review after your 7 dates. Fine.
You didn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah.
We didn't scratch the surface.
You have no idea.
There's so I
You're at, like,
wanted to get into the grinder stuff. I wanted to get into so
Oh,
much.
there's so much.
You're
more.
not even close.
Please let us know.
Were we not cringe?
All right, it wasn't
Yeah,
cringe.
were
It
we
was
cringe?
hype. We got.
Am
some
I double canceled?
A quadruple
Look, there's
cancel.
the chat.
I think it was a blast, and I feel like we didn't
They're
get to any of
saying
like all the things I wanted to get to. So
Poggies and chicken wings.
Yeah. I would
it's
love
still
to tell-
4:44. This whole how did I not notice? It's been the same time every time I check.